Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching Quiet Revolution playing in the garden. Let me tell you, there is going to be anything but quiet with regards to Quiet Revolution's performance in this battle. You are going to be seeing a monster round of World of Tanks today. However, as you might have seen with the title or the thumbnail, there's going to be a situation where Quiet Revolution is presented with quite a predicament, and whether their decision is going to result in them taking down this battle or not remains to be seen. You might be about to see one of the most greedy things I've seen in World of Tanks. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about the Guard. This is a vehicle that no one really thinks about and not too many people play. But actually, it's one of the most kind of quiet, probably why Quiet Revolution is playing this, premium tanks that's actually fairly decent. This vehicle is surprisingly accurate for a medium tank with 390 alpha damage, 0.33. It's been in the game for a long time, and its damage per minute is not too bad at 1,800 for a vehicle that has such great alpha damage. The real problem with this tank is outside of its turret armor, its hull really sucks. It kind of feels like a K91 within that regard. But yeah, its gun handling isn't great either, as you can see. 2.5 seconds aim time, 0.2 on the moving and the hull traverse dispersion, and 0.12 on the turret means that definitely putting vert stabs on this tank can make this gun actually perform. Or at least, shall I say, make it feel like it's a gun that you would want to play. But hitting for 390 average damage at tier 8, that is monstrous when you're even in a tier 8 matchup, let alone a matchup that Quiet Revolution find themselves in when they are playing against tier 6 tanks. 390 against tier 6 is kind of as if you are half-healthing vehicles. But you know what, Quiet Revolution, not too focused on dealing with the tier 6 tanks towards the center here, wanting to get the monstrous Cheeto SP out of the game. Beautiful, right there. Quiet Revolution's first frag of this battle. And the last thing that you want is to leave a Cheeto SP alive for a long time. Goodness gracious, that is an absolute horrendous vehicle to have to play against. Cheeto SPs are kind of averaging, I think it's something stupid like 54% average win ratio at the moment. They're so bonkers OP. It's definitely due for a nerf. Surprised Wargaming are doing it. Not before the Japanese tank destroyers have been featured as top of the tree this month, right? So if you haven't given yourself an opportunity to play the Cheeto SP. I can't believe I'm trying to encourage people to do this, but I'd recommend you play it while it's here, because while I'm not saying that Wargaming are going to remove it from the game, I would be very surprised if the Cheeto SP was not in for some nerfs. I don't know what they'll do to that tank. Probably trim its armor a little bit, or maybe just make its rate of fire worse. I think they might do both of those things, probably. I'll have to wait and see. That's what I would personally do to that tank. But whether or not it happens, it remains to be seen. All Uncle QuickyBaby is suggesting as Quiet Revolution quietly shuts down 2 tanks on the enemy team, including a top-tier tank destroyer, is that if you haven't given the Japanese tank destroyers a go, I would recommend to do it while they are top of the tree. So Quiet Revolution is looking for a shell now on the... was that the M44? No, the M44 hit them from the right. So they're actually looking for a shot there on the GW Panther. But here's where this tank's camera rating is coming into play. It actually has really good camera rating. 12.83 while moving and 17 while stationary. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Object 416 within that regard. It's just, instead of the 416 having the great rate of fire and the great penetration, this one sacrifices that to be able to gain that alpha damage. But I'd also like to mention to gain a little bit of gun depression as well. This thing has 6 degrees of gun depression, a lot like the old Object 140 before it was buffed to 7 degrees. And so that makes it not flexible, but at least better than it could be, like on the 416. And to have that fully traversable turret just allows you to be able to fully engage from all angles. So, Quiet Revolution is just holding the center here. And while they haven't done a huge amount of damage so far, 1,850, just providing this damage support in the center as well as shutting down valuable targets, they're definitely keeping their team in with a chance to win this battle. So the intuition switch to a gold round, probably the last truly heavily armored tank on the enemy team, in the form of the 252U. That one goes right through the side, and Quiet Revolution reloads quickly to be able to put another shell in. And we can also see from their equipment loadout here, they're using vents instead of coated optics. They've just got about enough with a premium consumable view range where you'd feel fairly comfortable in the medium tank. It's still not ideal, that's for sure. But we can also see they've got a gun rammer, a bounty gun rammer that hasn't been upgraded. And I can totally understand why. 3 million credits, you get like a bounty rammer from the battle pass to be able to upgrade it. It's a tough ask. That's like 3 hours of grinding premium tanks with credit boosters and clan boosters and playing well, right, in World of Tanks. Talk about playing well. Quiet Revolution slams 2 shells there into the Leo and is quickly reloading to deal with the guard on the enemy team, which is basically just an STG with a fancy paint job. If you were all wondering where to be able to get this tank. Ooh, talk about where to get it. Luckily, Quiet Revolution doesn't get it from the artillery on the enemy team, and now they're going to go forwards. They're going to tank a shell from the guard, and that's to be able to get away from the full health T-29, or practically full health T-29 behind them. That T-29 has an odd number of hit points, 1,290. Does that mean they're using the stock turret, but they're using a durability device with the stock turret? Maybe they'll be undergunned. Maybe they'll be using the 90mm. We'll have to wait and see. But it looks like the T-29 actually had a mark of excellence, unless I'm mistaken. I wonder why they only have 1,290 hit points if they've got a mark of excellence on this tank. I am confused. But it also looks like this T-29 is a little bit confused as they bounce the 105mm gun off Quiet Revolution's tank. And who has the reload now? Is it possibly the stock T-29 now? Or is it going to be Quiet Revolution? Well, Quiet Revolution, they're definitely going to be reloaded about the same time, and Quiet Revolution loses their last remaining opportunity to take a hit in this battle. But to secure the kill, secure the Radley Walters medal with 5,000 combined. But oh my word, it comes a legendary KV-2 round the corner. Well, unfortunately, Romeo, you did not find your Juliet, as they get shut down once again by Quiet Revolution. Now up to 9 kills in this game, but there's still 4 vehicles left on the enemy team. This is kind of like a 1 versus 2, where each of those players has a self-propelled gun supporting them. But luckily, Quiet Revolution has 2 self-propelled guns supporting them. But now down to 171 hit points. They're going to have a hard time trying to find these fairly sneaky American Tier 6 tank destroyers. The Hellcat could be anywhere. It's fast as well, and the T-78 as well. A very brutal tank, and they're getting right up behind Quiet Revolution, who I think, could they have reloaded an HE shell there? Probably not. I think they just got to get into cover, get away from the artillery, and hope that the artillery helped them. Well, unfortunately, it looks like the Lorraine whiffs their shell, but luckily, that T-78 didn't realize the Quiet Revolution would have such a good reload, as they have Adrenaline Rush procced right now as well. And this Adrenaline Rush, it wouldn't have procced back in the day with the 10% hit points, but the newly changed Adrenaline Rush that works from 25% hit points is definitely better than it used to be for your consistency, but not so extreme towards the end, right? Alright, so Hellcat going after the M44. Quiet Revolution now on 10 kills. They've secured a Pools medal, but they're now finding themselves in a 1 versus 3. Aiming, easy kill. No way, how does that miss? The Hellcat, but Quiet Revolution stays calm. Aims at where the Hellcat was. And remember, Hellcats, they usually don't invest into repair skills. And so unless they had a repair kit, they aren't getting away from that. Quiet Revolution shuts down the Hellcats, securing their 11th kill of the game. And now they find themselves against 2 remaining self-propelled guns, of which the GW Panther and the M44 have both hit Quiet Revolution. So it's time for some vengeance, right? It's time to get some revenge on the enemy team. However, when you're down to 171 hit points, you got to be careful digging out artillery from their campy spots. The last thing that you want is to get to this stage of the game, even have your team declaring love for you and cheering you on, and then be able to let them down. Okay? So Quiet Revolution, how are they going to approach digging out artillery in this situation? They've got 5 minutes and 35 seconds left in this battle, so there's more than enough time to at least hunt the artillery for a few minutes before Quiet Revolution will have to decide whether they want to cap or not. So they're looking, just checking their flanks. I guess they're going to go maybe up into this position here to be able to check out that bush line to see if the GW is behind them. This is good play right now, hunting down where the artillery could possibly be. The fact that Quiet Revolution doesn't spot anything is a little bit alarming, but oh my word, GW Panther appears and Quiet Revolution has a little bit of mountain goating here to clutch in the shot. And will it be a low roll? Oh, no, it's not. Maybe an HE shell would have been a better decision there, but possibly with a 50-50 for the AP to go in, maybe that's the one that you want to go for. Interesting, the AP shells, the same shell velocity as the HE shells on this tank, so it doesn't really stop you from having that consistent aim. It's one of the most annoying things in World of Tanks when your HE shells are significantly slower than your AP shells, and so you have to adjust the way that you play. Alright, so the GW Panther has run away, and now we are trying to hunt down Agent Left on the enemy team. Well, unfortunately for Quiet Revolution, as they quickly come around the corner, and that was very dangerous there. The artillery could have been hunting in the bushes, has quickly found that the agent has left the base. Now, where is this M44 going to be? Okay, so in this kind of a situation, you've got to remember that it takes 1 minute and 40 seconds to be able to cap inside World of Tanks. And so Quiet Revolution, he's probably got about a minute to drive away and then a minute to drive back. So there's no harm in them hunting down where the M44 could be. Now, if you were in this kind of situation, you were Quiet Revolution, you were on 12 kills, where would you think the artillery would be? Would they be trying to hide in the corner? Would they maybe have tried to drown themselves and get themselves stuck along the cliffs of the cliff map? Or alternatively, will they be trying to hunt your cap circle? Well, I guess in this kind of a scenario, Quiet Revolution was quietly hoping that the artillery would start capping, because if the artillery starts capping, it's pretty much a formality. As long as they have enough time to be able to get towards their base, then they're easily going to be able to destroy the M44 from the ridgeline over here in kind of like the G4 area where they were hunting the 252U earlier. However, you know, a minute has gone since that 4-minute period. So this is kind of the point of no return now, where Quiet Revolution, having destroyed 12 tanks with 6,000 combined in a tier 8 vehicle, decides they're not going back. And this is literally the point of no return now. Here, it's going to take more than a minute to be able to get back to the base, I feel. All right, Quiet Revolution is going all in. And I think this is an unbelievably greedy thing to do. Now, I could understand if Quiet Revolution was on 13 kills. Because if they were on 13 kills, they're going for the Rezene Heroes medal. It's the medal that no one gets. It's the most sought after medal inside the game. And to be able to get that at tier 8 would be worth risking losing a battle. I would risk losing 10 battles, 100 battles to be able to get that. But luckily, Quiet Revolution spots the M44 scurrying around. But I think this was an incredibly greedy misplay to be able to try and hunt down the artillery. But, you know, with 171 hit points, it's still all to play for, right? The artillery, knowing they got spotted, is probably going to turn around. We can see they're pushing the IKV. Quiet Revolution slips down the slope. They're kind of getting a bit awkwardly stuck here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, imagine, just imagine if that artillery had managed to land more than a shot on Quiet Revolution's tracks. Literally left both tracks up the slope. A completely detracked guard, as we can see here, slips down and manages to finish off the arty. I mean, you really couldn't script this. This was about as greedy as it gets in World of Tanks. And while Quiet Revolution is clearly an exceptional player, they got through this one at the end of this battle by the skin of their teeth. Now, once again, if they had been on 13 kills hunting for that 14th, you know what? Go for it. Go for it. Just go try and grab the Rezene Heroes medal. But to jeopardize a win here, to try and find a needle in a possible haystack on a map like this in a relatively slow tank, hunting down a pretty fast self-propelled gun, and then to get hit but not by quite enough in the guard, I'd say Quiet Revolution got pretty lucky in this one. But even with that moment of greed, this was still a rock-solid, gargantuan game of World of Tanks. Quiet Revolution gets the Pools medal for those 13 kills, a Pascucci for hunting down the artillery at the end, a high caliber for 6,400 damage, pretty much the rest of their team combined on damage here, and they also managed to make a profit without a premium account. Clearly showing why Quiet Revolution can't afford those 3 million credits to be able to get that upgraded bounty rammer. But with epic plays like this and the free premium that you can manage to get from the Murney, the Halloween game mode that's going on, I don't think it's going to take Quiet Revolution too long to be able to get this guard up to maximum performance. So, Quiet Revolution, congratulations to you on this amazing game of World of Tanks, but I think you know just how lucky you got at the end with that greedy chase on the arty. And thank you so much for uploading your replay on the QuickyBaby.what-record.com website to let me know that you wanted to be featured on YouTube today. And if any of the other epic players in this community out there want to be featured on YouTube as well, then feel free to go and upload your replays, but yeah, they have to be exceptional to make it on here. And I hope all of you out there enjoyed this game as much as I did. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments down below, would you have gone out to chase the 13th kill, or would you have secured the win with the cap circle? And if you're watching this video as it goes live on Monday, later on today, there are going to be brand new drop tokens on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby, so come and get some fat loot while hopefully seeing the occasional fat game. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.